All right, welcome to another episode of Staying Connected, where we explore the depths of self, the people around us, and our environment. We hope to uncover any life lessons through our experiences, reflect on meaningful relationships built along the way, and to ultimately learn about one another through open and honest conversations. How's it going, guys? I'm Kenny.
I'm Scott. So we are now doing part 2 of our Q&A. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So Kenny, what do you have?
All right, so one of my questions that I have, I think everybody kind of thinks about it as well. I would want to ask you, like, what are 3 things on your bucket list? So let's just say the next month or 2, you're not going to be on this earth anymore. What would be the top 3 things on your list? So, did you want to start, or you have an idea?
Sure. Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
So top 3 things I would like to. Okay, let's to clarify. Is it just to do, or like is like a mindset, or
physically?
How do you want to do?
I would say
physically do.
Yes.
Physically do. Okay. I guess in a general sense, number 1 be travel. COVID, yeah, still.
Yeah. Any specific
COVID,
place?
I guess. I think I want to go back to Vietnam. I know we talk so much about origins and learning your, the country, of your nationality. So I've actually been to Vietnam 20 years ago, but I want to go back just, one last time and just enjoy the entire depths of Vietnam, because it's huge. And we talked about this before. Enjoy the food, enjoy the people, and see my family and learn more about the past, because that's very important, knowing who you are. And some people go their whole lives without knowing who they are, where their family came from and all that. So that's definitely on top of my list, my bucket list. Now, number 2, or unless you want to go back and forth.
Okay, I'll do one then. Okay. Similar to you, I mean, reconnecting to my culture. I would say on top of the list would be to speak fluent Filipino, like learn the language in addition to traveling, because that's how I can communicate with my family and just the history of Filipino culture. Just being able to understand my roots and also communicate in a way that I've never communicated before. So reconnecting.
How good is your, I know the Filipino language has like Tagalog and like a whole bunch of other dialects. So which one is the primary one for you?
So the primary Filipino language or dialect is Tagalog. That's the national language. But for my family, it is, they come from a certain area of the Philippines, so they speak Ilocano. That question to me was just bugging me the whole time. Like when I started learning Filipino, it was like, what do I learn? Do I learn Tagalog? Do I learn Ilocano? Because those 2 things are kind of different from each other. So I had to call my dad and ask him, what exactly do I learn? So he basically told me to learn both. So both Tagalog and Ilocano. Ilocano is where my family's from. Tagalog is just anytime you travel to like the main cities and all that. So it's good to know that. And I am at the beginning of the journey of learning how to speak, all of that. So just doing some FaceTime calls with my dad and learning different words every now and then.
So is there like a primary difference between like the 2 languages, like tone and like context and all that?
Yeah, I think with other languages as well, depending on what part of the country you're from, they use different words for different things, like water, for example. Some people in the Philippines say danom, other people say tubig. So basically they're the same thing. Yeah, so it's 2 different languages I have to learn. It's a challenge, but I am, it's a challenge that I'm willing to go through and understand and yeah, grow from and reconnect with my Filipino roots.
So what's your goal? Just to be fluent, right?
Yes, to be able to, know all the bad stuff, know what people are talking about, jump into conversations and be able to confidently speak my mind and yeah, listen pretty confidently as well. And I think it would show my parents how appreciative I am
Right.
for the culture and yeah.
It would be
How,
pretty interesting to learn more about like the history between the different
yeah.
cultures. Like because in Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
I think mostly the words are similar. It's just like the tones they use are
Oh,
different, and it's just good to know the history and like, okay, why did that region, have a different tone, or like why even though they're like thousands of miles apart, why are the words still the same? I wonder why there wasn't a breakoff. So,
mm.
I think that's inspired me to look into more like the history of Vietnamese language as well, the linguistics of it.
Are you able to speak Vietnamese or do you speak it at home or?
Yeah, I speak at home. My dialect is more from the south, so
Okay.
it definitely sounds way different than like if you were to go to like the north. So
Oh, yeah, it's probably
but
the same with Philippines too. So
okay, let's maybe we can do an episode about that. That's a
yeah,
very interesting topic, linguistics and the history.
it is. All
All
right.
right,
Second bullet
number
point.
number two for me would be to probably, of course we don't know what it's like, but
Mm-hmm.
from talking to older people that have lost their spouse and such, they have so many regrets, especially going back to their childhood about how they were mean to another person or how they acted a certain way towards another person, and they just wish they had that opportunity to just like say sorry or make amends. you know I think for me that's what I would do with my last time left on this earth, is just to find all the people that I've done wrong, and just have a conversation with them, just like, hey, I was I was a jerk back then. I was a mean person, and you definitely don't deserve that at all. And I only have so much time left, but I want to make sure that I've thought of you. So, because that's not who I am right now, and that's not the legacy that I want to leave. I want to make sure there's no bad blood between us, and that, well, who knows, perhaps our children can get along, and we can break that cycle of hatred. Because I know getting bullied as a kid, I still have some of that leftover hatred from my bullies, and it's been like what, decades now,
Yeah.
15, 20 years. So I definitely wouldn't want that on my kids or like with other people. So I just want peace in the world, and peace with like
Mm-hmm.
my soul and the other person as well. Because we make a lot of mistakes growing up, trying to fit in and trying to being mean to that girl just because everyone peer pressure to you too. But now that we know better, now that we're adults, it's become clear that we need to start doing that. And even if it wasn't like on the bucket list, I'm actively trying to do that. A story I remember is, I left one of my jobs to work for the city, right? And ironically enough, the girl sitting next to me was my ex back in the days of high school. So what she did was, no, she was like really nice to me, and I wasn't that nice to her. Like when we broke up, like suddenly out of nowhere, because I just wasn't, I didn't want to date her anymore. So I just kind of abruptly did it, and I know that hurt her feelings, and um, I still wish we could have been friends. So but as I sat down and I just talked to her, like, hey, just want to put this out there that I'm really sorry for what I did, and I hope we're cool, and I hope, you know, I wish I could take everything back. Like I wish I wouldn't have done that to you. So no, start now. Like if someone's listening to this, start now. Like don't wait until you have a bucket list. But still, if I had like a month left to live, yeah, that's probably top of my list. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm about to bounce soon, so I just want to say, hey, still love. There's
Yeah.
hope. There's love. So.
And yeah, that's interesting story. And yeah, I just wanted to bring up like start now. It's definitely been a time where we just have had the time to kind of reconnect with other people. And yeah, I just want to encourage people, especially now. I mean, not like you said, doesn't have to be on your bucket list, but you can even start now to just try to reconnect with people that you haven't seen in a while, haven't talked to, or like you said, like all the bullies, because you eventually want to leave the earth like on a positive note as much as you can, and just leave no regrets behind. And
life's too short for all that.
It is. Yeah. Especially with the current situation going on.
Exactly.
What's going to happen tomorrow?
So you never know. And let's say you reach out to a bully and, you say you forgive them and they're still pretty mean. They're still pretty bad people. So what? You did your best. You reached out. That's good for your soul. Like even if they tell you, oh yeah, I didn't care about that. Like whatever, why you even calling? That's fine. You did what you had to do. You remedied your own soul. I think that's more important than trying to, because a lot of times when you do reach out to people, especially to a bully or someone that's hurt you, you kind of expect them to be really empathetic and say sorry and all that. And then when you don't get that reaction, then you get mad, and it actually defeats the purpose of you reaching out. It's for yourself. It's not for the other person to do something that will make you feel better.
Exactly. So it's never too late unless it becomes too late. So start now. Start reconnecting.
I agree.
Okay. All right. For me, well, speaking of leaving the earth on a positive note, I guess my second bullet point is to basically eat everything that I can. Visit different countries and just eat. I just want to feast on everything that I haven't tried ever, and just be able to just enjoy different foods and stuff myself. And
what's on top of the list?
I mean, stuff that I haven't tried, like any sort of European food, any Indian food. That is something I want to try as well. So basically, I want to travel to every single continent and try a dish. And I mean, I could possibly do it whenever traveling is available, but let's just say I had a month. Yeah, I just would want to eat as much as I can. If there were no rules for a day, you would find me jumping from country to country and just eating. So, and
is there food you wouldn't want to try, like durian, for example?
Oh no, I would want to try every single thing,
even if it sucked.
Even if it sucked. But that's the thing. You just have to experience it, and you can just say you did it. Mark that off the list, and I mean, I could go for my usual Korean barbecue where I leave and all that. But just trying new things and everything.
Have you thought about that? Like, okay, if you were, let's say money wasn't a problem, have you like thought of a plan? Like, okay, this is where I would start and this is where I would end.
Probably, yeah. Like I would start off in Asia, and then I would just make my way around to Europe and all of that. But if money wasn't an issue, just think of the possibilities. If that opportunity was available, which is mostly highly unlikely at this moment in time, then I would definitely go for it.
I say you spent a lot of time on the airplane.
Sure.
So,
Yes. That's a thing. But yeah, eating, because I love to eat, and I'm down to go eat anytime, anywhere, any place. You just give me a call. And
very nice. I do have a lot of snacks that I want to send your way.
So. Yeah. Surprising we're not doing like a mukbang or something, because I would definitely eat the whole table.
That is a consideration, like just having food and just talking about topics, or that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like a more casual, relaxed.
Yeah.
Need to brainstorm that.
You know, holidays are coming up. I mean, it's not gonna be the same gathering together, but we can do these virtual conversations / feasts, and that's still fun.
The ASMR is gonna be out of this world, huh?
Oh yeah, oh I bet. Yeah. Eat. Maybe maybe because I'm hungry. That's why.
No, me too.
All right.
Number three. This one's pretty simple. Spend time with the people I love. You know, like it goes back to the first one. Like take all my family traveling, and you know why? Who better to spend the last couple moments of your life with than the people that love you? So it's a no-brainer for me, especially rarely ever is there a time where like everyone gets together, especially for my family. Everyone has their certain things on their lives, and it'll be nice to unfortunately have a tragedy bring everyone together, but it'll be nice to have everyone together, because I can't remember the last time everyone part of my family was together, just talking, having fun. So those occasions are very rare. That's why I cherish it greatly. So that'll be my third one for sure. You can't have enough family time, because if you think about it, for typical people, once they're 18, they either move out or they go do their own thing, they pursue their own careers, and the parents just kind of get forgotten about until they get super old. They can't do all the daily things that they want to do. Now you got to take care of them. So there's like a disconnect. I definitely seen it with my brothers and my parents. So luckily, we do reach out. I try my best to have plan as many events together, so that way we can all get together and talk and learn more about our history. Especially my parents, they have so much memories and they have so many things that they can share with us. So this is a great way. And I think my experience growing up with my brothers were different because we weren't super close, and that's why in a way I'm very envious of the relationship you have with your brothers. You guys seem really close. You guys can joke around, and I didn't really have that until last couple of years, where we were comfortable joking around, telling each other sensitive, vulnerable things. So who knows what else you can learn with the families together. So.
It's definitely a journey to reconnect that relationship that you have with your brothers. And yeah, over the years, it just takes time. It does. So, I mean, I know my brothers and we never had, we had kind of like an off relationship growing up, but over the years, as you said, as we become older, we start to reach out a little bit more and, try to find ways of kind of creating that bond or building that bond that you had. So, yeah. And I think, I agree with you on just, that's actually like my last point too, is to just spend time with all my loved ones, because, they've been there with you since day one, and you want to leave the earth, on your very last day kind of thing. So just having that opportunity to just have everyone that you love around you. I envision some sort of big barbecue party with
Nice.
everybody. Although it is kind of sad to think that it's like your last time, but you know it is just happiness right there to have everyone around you, good food, good people, good vibes, everything. You just want to have that peacefulness that you want, and yeah, being able to reconnect. I you know, as many times as we say the word connect, reconnect, all of that. I mean, it's our life's theme, you could say, connecting. Even if we're so far apart, we try to find ways to reconnect, and through that, yeah, it's been a challenge, but at the same time rewarding. Being able to see each other virtually is always a gift that we don't take for granted, and um, yeah, so that's kind of the reason why I wanted to ask, like, what's on your bucket list, because you know, especially like right now, there's, you know, we see so many things happening in the world, many deaths and just yeah, all of that. So it made me kind of worried, but at the same time, you know, you really have to think to yourself, like, how am I spending my day, and do I, yeah, all of that.
Now, the one interesting thing about these kind of questions about death and such is it makes you really think about, you know, like the Stoics, they have a practice of like thinking that they have a saying called like one day you will die, and it's like a practice that they do. And I thought it was very interesting as I was reading about it, because yeah, one day you're gonna die. So you know, the things that don't matter, like you shouldn't put too much emphasis on it. Like, why are you worrying about something? Because one day you're gonna die. You know, like that risk that you were, you know, you didn't want to do because it's too risky and it gives you anxiety or whatever. It doesn't matter. Do it because one day you're gonna die. So I've been trying to put that a little more into practice of, you know, like, oh, I'm scared about putting out content like for my blog, or I'm scared about starting this podcast because, you know, people are gonna tell me, oh, I'm a fraud, or like I don't know what I'm doing. But now that I look back at it, it's like, and that with that practice, it's like, you know, one day I'm gonna die, so let's just do it. You know, who knows? So for myself, that's especially during pandemic times and people have been dying, and that's made me think a little bit more about things that I want to do, things that I'm scared that I'm gonna fail at. But now it becomes like, who cares? 'Cause one day, you know, I'm
have
not
you
gonna be
been
here.
have you ever been like hesitant about a decision that you, I guess, during that process, hesitant about anything, just
I think the most current one, the one that I'm thinking of is I want to start a newsletter or like an actual blog on the internet.
mhm.
The one thing holding me back was like, I was just worried about like my content not being good enough, or like my writing skills not being good enough. And
Mhm.
I was just worried about people judging me. You know, I was
Mhm.
just worried about what other people might think, but it just doesn't matter. You just need to do it to satisfy your own thirst.
Yeah,
And who cares what other people says? Because, you know, does their opinion really matter? They haven't even started their own blog. They haven't even taken the risk. So why do their opinions matter so much? They have no skin in the game. It's like telling telling a weightlifter like, oh, that exercise is bad for you when you haven't worked out a day in your life, you know, or that's bad for your lower back, but you haven't worked out. How can you say that? So just going back to that mindset of, you know, I need to do this for myself, because one day when I am on my deathbed, I don't want that regret at all. I
mm-hmm.
want to say, even if I fail, I want to say that at least I attempted with the best of my abilities, with all the research I've done. Even if I failed, I'm glad I tried it. Now I have no more regrets.
Yeah, I think a lot of people nowadays deal with that hesitation because they're just, you know, constantly worrying about what other people might say, what other people might, yeah, throw at you, and you know, at the end of the day, the end of the journey, are you happy with everything that you do? It's self-satisfaction. Like, you know, you're sitting on your deathbed. Like, you just have to think to yourself, like, oh, did I accomplish everything that I wanted to? And yeah, so I would say eliminate as much hesitation, if not all hesitation, that you have in your life, and just try it out, go for it. And yeah, continue to just strive for your goals. Make that list, make that bucket list, and achieve those goals.
Just a side note of like, make your bucket list, but don't wait until you're about to kick the bucket.
Yeah. Just work on it right away.
Work on it bucket. the urgency bucket.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. Okay, so my question is have you ever learned like a life lesson that you learn in a very unique way? So some examples could be, you learn it by accident, you learn it from a person you don't like, you learn it from just doing like when you what's the word, you learn from like doing trivial things, like let's say you were watering your garden, and then you learn something about like life, you know. And I can give you a story of mine. It was a long day after work, and I was like really upset. I was really tired because things didn't go my way. I screwed up at work, right? And then I went to this grocery store, and I noticed there was like this older gentleman slowly walking towards me. And you know what? Even though I had a cruddy day, I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna hold the door for this gentleman. So then I held the door for him, and he was just taking his sweet time. You know, some people, when you hold the door, they like rush, right? Like this man, he just took his sweet time, and then like it took at least like 20 seconds. And you know, like when you're holding a door for someone, 20 seconds is forever. Mm-hmm. So as you walk by, you know, you kind of expect like, oh, thank you, son, or like, oh, I appreciate that, you know. And he didn't say anything. Oh, so I was like, I gave him a look, you know, like, really? And then he looked back at me, and he was like, and he knew what my gaze was. He knew the energy that I was emitting. And he told me like, I know you expect me to say thank you, but I don't owe you anything. And that got me kind of upset. But so I let it go. I let it go.
Gloves? It's the gloves.
So your bucket list, old man. No, but no, the more I thought about it, later on the day when I cooled down, and it's like he was right. In life, nobody owes you anything. Like, no one has to do anything for you, you know. And it's just like a light bulb moment for me. Because, dang, I'm having all these expectations from other people when they don't owe me anything. They don't have to do anything for me. I need to be the reason that I succeed. I need to be the reason that I achieve my goals. So whatever other people do for me, I'm very thankful because they're great people. But I need to make sure that I take care of myself. I need to make sure that I put in the hard work. And I need to make sure that I don't have those expectations of always expecting people to do something for me. Like, if I hold the door for you, say thank you, you know, or waiting for someone to do something nice for me to do something nice back. You know, why don't I just do the nice thing and not expect anything? So it was crazy. It's like, looking back now, I took that moment of like, I could have blew up that old man. I could have been whatever. He's a jerk.
I mean, you just have those couple of seconds to really react and think on what you're gonna do, and yeah, I mean, I like your approach. It's just, you know, you took it in a cool way.
Yeah, and that's something I'm gonna carry out through my whole life and teach it to my kids. Is, you know, people always expect like, oh, people are gonna do this for me because, you know, I have a disability, or like I have trouble with this, I have trouble with that. But the only person that's gonna dig you out of your grave is you, most of the time. The only person that really cares about your well-being, that really cares about um, your things you want to do in life is yourself. It's like a business, right? If you hire employees, are they gonna care about your business as much as you? Of course not. No, of course not. Even if you create the greatest work culture and you create the best working environment, through it all, through all the difficulties, and at the end of the day, you're the person that cares the most. You're the person that's going to care through all your plans to make sure the business is successful, right? So, and that's just been a life-changing experience for me. It's like now that I see the old man again, I know I like months later, I told him like straight up, like thank you for that. Like I'm not sure if you remember that, but you taught me a very valuable lesson. It's like I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life. And in like the best response he's had was like, yeah, I do that to people. I just have to laugh it off. And every time I see him now, it's just we have
Oh,
a
so you see him?
good.
Yeah, it's good.
I see him, and then it's like, oh, it's like hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And it's funny that we created like a relationship through like a bad moment. So I guess
Yeah,
things
you gotta
turn out
find
to
the
be
good and
good.
the bad, and yeah, just connect. Yeah.
Connect, yes.
Okay. For me, I okay. So I mean, as you know, I've been working constantly at home, and you know, I try to find. I find myself losing track of time. And you know, depending on the workload that I have, it's usually a point where I tend to forget my lunch, like forget to eat lunch, forget to stand up, anything. So I guess this one experience, I was actually working and it was like lunchtime already, and I hear a knock on the door at my house, and then I I go to the door, of course, put on my mask, and I just see like this plate of food on the stairs. Like it's all covered up. It was actually like a it was food delivery service meals, and I was just wondering who that was, who sent that package, and if it was the right house or not, because I was home alone that time, and um, I looked on the receipt. It had my name on there, and I was like, who in the world could know my address and send have the I don't know, I guess the thought to buy me food for lunch. Um, so I looked on the receipt, and yeah, my I guess my older brother's name was on there, and you know I didn't talk to him throughout the day. He didn't know I didn't eat and all that. So yeah, my older brother bought me food for lunch, and you know I was kind of just I stepped back a bit, and I was like just thought to myself like you know, I was just very thankful, and I mean a little bit emotional because it was kind of like, you know, it's a pattern. It's been a pattern where like, you know, sometimes I would forget my lunch, and then but I try not to nowadays. Um, yeah, so to have that package of food, I eventually called him right away, and then I said like, "What is this?" And he just laughed because he knew I was gonna be surprised, and he just told me first thing, pay it forward. So those three words really hit me. And yeah, I mean, I've heard it before, but I never really experienced that idea of paying it forward until I got that um, package of food, which was Korean food, my favorite. So from there, yeah, I talked to him and asked him like why, and he said, "Pay it forward. You never know. There's going to be somebody in need, whether it's um, the homeless or just somebody that who hasn't had lunch yet. Anybody can be a stranger, somebody you know. Try to find a way to pay it forward." And from there, you know, I really took that advice into my own hands. And that day I went to there's usually this guy that sits right in front of a 7-Eleven convenience store right in my area. And yeah, I just went right after lunch, go to that 7-Eleven. He was there, and instead of going into like 7-Eleven and all that, because he's always there eating the same stuff, I went over next door to one of the plate lunch restaurants and just got him something a little bit different than the usual. And yeah, I just told him, even if he can't pay it forward financially, there's these certain acts of kindness that you can do to fulfill that idea. And yeah, just the whole experience of my brother buying something for me and me doing that for someone else as well, it's a cycle. So I mean, who knows who he's gonna buy something for, or it's a pattern that continues and continues. And that's just a wave of kindness that we all need to share with the world. So yeah, it's like that was a lesson that came to life after all these years. So yeah, that is it.
It's like you can never do too many acts of kindness.
Yeah.
Right?
So
just imagine if everyone around the world just did nice things to each other. Like, it doesn't have to be multiple. Just do one nice thing.
Yeah.
Imagine the change you can have. And like you said, like if you can't do it financially, doesn't need to include money.
It doesn't.
A compliment, like a comment about like, oh, you look good today, or like that nice dress, or a good haircut. There's so many ways for us to do nice things for each other, and we need to just start doing, make that a habit, doing kind things for others.
Yep. Compliments help a lot. Positive notes, anything. So
I agree. We need more kindness in this world.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like one of those things where having an excess amount is good.
Yeah. All right. So that is the question. That was the answer. Yeah.
You have one more, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess we could like hit the next couple, just like quick rapid response.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a pretty fun one. Scott, I mean, you work out, I work out, but even if you don't work out, there's always that one song that kind of just pumps you up and motivates you to make the best of your day.
Right.
What would that song be? Out of all the songs, well, yeah, what would it be?
Okay, so since I weight lift, there's always like a couple of songs I turn to when I want to get like a PR or a personal record. When I'm lifting heavy weights, one of those songs is, I guess, two songs that I always use. The first is, sorry, let me look it up right now.
And if you're listening right now, think of that one song that comes to mind. Share it in the comments below.
Okay, so I have one instrumental that I listen to. I just like listening to instrumentals. It's called Creator of Worlds, and I guess the person who, or the name of the author is Epic Score. Anyways, it's like a build up. If you ever heard like Lord of the Rings music, like it just slowly builds up, and
yes,
God just goes all around you, and then like when I lift weights, it's like I try to go to like this dark zone of like it's reading, and then like
you can hear it already.
mental imaging of me lifting that weight, and like I see I kind of like build a story around the music. So I feel like I'm a gladiator about to like fight a lion or something. And it gets me real pumped up. It gets me going. It gets me so hyped.
I can already hear the song just playing and just picturing you just like lifting and all that. It's like
I'll share the song with you. The second song would be Linkin Park, "Lying from You."
Yeah,
it's a pretty dope song, especially the chorus. Like sometimes I wait until the chorus is about to hit, and then the moment that chorus hits, like I'm going go pretty hard. Like, again, I go to that dark place. It's just like it becomes like almost animalistic. Like, okay, I'm gonna destroy this weight.
You are the animal, so.
How about yourself?
Well, that one song, it's usually my pump up song for anytime I go out to karaoke, as well as working out. And also just, whenever I go run, it is Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk.
Oh,
it's a fun song that, once I hear the beginning of the song, it's like all the instruments, and then you got Bruno Mars just coming right in with this hit that ice cold Michelle Pfeiffer. That,
makes you want to dance.
Makes me want to dance, but at the same time makes me want to have that confidence to just do anything. It's like, it's just Bruno Mars himself. He lives life without any worries, no care about anybody that's talking bad about him.
That man is dripping with swag.
Yeah. And, to be that confident is just ideal. And I feel like Uptown Funk has given me the confidence to, work out. Like I listen to it when I do push-ups and
on repeat.
On repeat. This was actually the first song that played when I ran that marathon at 4:00 in the morning. And it just was that song and still continues to be that song. I mean,
nice.
To the point where, I go to sleep, maybe sometimes listening to that song. Because, it just
he needs to drop a new album. We need some music.
I am waiting
for
that
2 years
to come. He's been very quiet, and it's become to the point where people are suspicious, and it comes to the idea where he's possibly creating a new album. Just stay tuned.
I mean, like every song that he makes is pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm. So.
New Bruno.
Yeah.
All right. Next couple questions from friends.
Okay.
And again, we can rapid response it. What real life adult skill do you want to hone over the next 5-10 years? It could be cooking, sewing, plumbing, fixing cars, etc., etc.
Let me think about that one real quick. I would.
You wanna? Okay, I agree. Yeah. Real simple for me. Learning how to cook. Through my whole life, I've been too reliant on my parents because I still live with them and such. So I haven't gotten a chance to really experiment with recipes that I want to, cook. And it'd be good to finally learn how to cook. And in the future, I need to cook for my kids and wife and whatever. So.
Can you cook right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to have that like catalog of like 5 to 10 recipes that I can make very well. That are like healthy, packed in protein, whatever. So yeah, cooking for sure. How about you?
Oh, so what kind of meals? Like one meal that you would want to learn how to cook?
Learning how to cook chicken breast, and it's still like tender. Every time I cook chicken breast, for some reason, it is so dry. Like sandpaper, it's ridiculous. Like no matter what method I use, so I need to get better at that. Maybe I need to start switching to chicken thigh because it's more fat. I do more well when the cut of meat has more fat.
Yeah, same here. Well, that's cool. Yeah, cooking. I mean, something I try to take up throughout this pandemic quarantine phase we have. But aside from that, I kind of want to learn more about like running a business and specifically like the business of a cafe or restaurant. Because having experience working in that industry as well, it is tough. But I have this passion for food, and I just want to learn all the fundamentals needed in order to start that journey, and later on possibly open up a cafe of my very own, and and continue cooking and serving the community as much as possible. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely need to have that conversation one day. Because I tried to start my own business back then, but I didn't it failed. But I still learned a lot from it. So we can definitely piggyback off each other. Talk more about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Maintaining fitness without the gym.
Yeah, maintaining fitness without the gym. Oh. I had to really get creative with this one. So I mean, usually in the mornings I do my 100 push-ups. I do it in different sets and different types of push-ups. I've also been using these empty suitcases that I haven't used because I cannot travel anywhere. Filling them up with like books and canned goods, and just trying to lift in different ways, whether it's like just different shoulder workouts, lifting it up and down, or just like, just bench press, some like just, what is it? Building up the amount of reps I do.
Volume.
Yeah. So all of that. And also just, working on my cardio. Running, swimming has been pretty key, and walking up and down my stairs to work out the glutes. And lastly, just, dieting pretty much. Eating healthy. Chicken breast has been my best friend for how many months now? Yeah. So
hopefully not dry.
I know. It's a skill that we gotta learn.
So yeah, I agree with a lot of what Kenny just said. The most important thing is to one thing about people going to the gym is that's a routine, right? And that's a habit they do. So same as going to the gym, you need to start building a routine and start building habits for yourself again. And you can do that very easily by choosing the low-hanging fruit that you can get. So limit the bad choices you make. So instead of going to fast food, like I said, learn how to cook some chicken breasts. Instead of taking the car, take your bicycle. And let's say you live very far away from your workplace. Okay, great. After dinner, how about go for a short walk? Just do a podcast as you do that. You can definitely YouTube some exercises to do. They have like millions of videos of like 10, 15 minutes, 20 workouts. All that matters is you keep moving, and even if you don't have weights, just understand that, okay, you might lose some muscle, but that doesn't mean you have to lose a lot of muscle. Even if you maintain, you're going to lose a little bit, but you're not going to lose everything. So maintain that, build your routine. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to do this, you're going to work out, and try to fit in as many opportunities as it is to work out. Like you have kids, great. Take them on a walk or like go run with them. People underestimate running. It's probably one of the best exercises you can do. Sprints.
Yeah, you can run anywhere.
Like, you can get a lot of work in within like 5 minutes of time. It's like push-ups too. Just do 3. Like one of the things that I've done is I do circuits. So it's push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups or squats. Just 4 exercises. Just do 30 seconds worth. Rest 10, 20 seconds. Do that for 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes straight. You're going to feel the burn. Okay? And you're going to get a good sweat in. So don't blame it that you don't have the gym. Don't blame it on that fact. just make sure you keep moving. Don't make excuses, because a lot of people, they always say, oh, the gym's out, so I gained 15 pounds. Like, no, that your eating habits haven't changed. Your choices. It's all about decisions. So that's what I recommend.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Recommendation of the week time.
All right.
Resource, article, movie, tip, quote. What do you got?
Now that we're on the topic of fitness and all that, my recommendation is that for every hour you're sitting down, take 5 to 10 minutes out of that time to get up, stand up, and just be active of some sort, whether it's in your room. Because, a lot of people are constantly working at home and they're sitting down the whole day pretty much. And, 5 to 10 minutes does a lot. Whether it's like doing squats, like let's just say, for example,
squat.
Yeah, we're gonna squat like that, or like jumping jacks in place. Walking around your house, taking just pacing around your home kind of thing. Take 5 to 10 minutes of that time just to not sit down, because it affects just your alertness with everything, just your attention to everything, and at the same time, work out your glutes, work out your whole body, and give you that energy to continue conquering the day.
So just piggyback on that, it's I've heard from a lot of strength and conditioning coaches and posture coaches, is like the best posture is one where it's continually changing. So the body's not designed to be locked in one place, because when you're sitting, your hips muscles aren't activated. So what that does is it just pulls your lower back muscle, makes them work even harder. So that's why a lot of people have lower back pain from sitting for too long. It's just they're not using their hip muscles, they're not using their glute muscles actively. So I definitely agree with your tip of just moving around, get that active, breathe. Like a lot of times people are just hunch over, right? So do the opposite of that. Right? That's the easy tip fix. Do the opposite of what you've been doing. So if you're hunching down, open up. If you're sitting down, stand up. If you've been standing up, sit down. Easy peasy.
Exactly. So do that. Set that as your goal throughout the week.
Boom. Okay. My recommendation is a quote that I heard on a podcast. It's by Seth Godin, very well-known marketing business person. His quote was, "Authenticity is overrated," and how he explained is that like people always say, "Oh, be yourself, be authentic," and then like when people act like jerks and whatever, they're like, "Oh, I'm just being myself," and he thinks that's a load of BS. I agree to a certain extent. I think authenticity and being yourself is very important. But he's right in the fact that doesn't mean you be a jerk. You demean people and you just blame on the fact that, oh, that's just me. That's just who I am. I was born and raised that way. No, it's not. It's a choice to be a jerk. So that taught me a new lesson of like, it's okay to take in a new opinion. Because at first when I heard about it, I didn't agree with it at all. I thought being yourself is the most important thing because we've been fed that for our whole lives, right? Yeah. But you need to take a new opinion to learn new things. And when I did that, I agree with some of the things he said, and that's a very important thing that you continue to learn. Like the only way to grow is to take in new opinions, and of course, at first you're gonna disagree with it because that's the opposite of what you know so far. But it's the differences that allow you to really grow and evolve. So,
do you think social media has played a factor in just that idea of authenticity and how it's become so kind of artificial to a point? How social media does that? Yeah.
I think it's definitely been oversaturated in the fact that people want to live like other people, when in fact that they just need to just do them. you know, like it could be like clothes, like, oh, they're wearing Supreme, they're wearing Off-White, wearing Bait. I want to be cool because that person gets all the likes, that person gets all the mentions. You know, that's cool and all. Do you? If that's what makes you really happy, yeah, do you. But you know, we've all learned, and we all know. I don't know the U.S. social dilemma. I haven't, but from what I've heard from friends is like, yeah, social media is so bad. Yeah, it's only bad because the way you use it. But you know, if you spend all your time and energy focusing on aspects that don't speak to you, like trying to be popular, trying to be that, yeah, of course it's gonna be terrible. But if you use social media to reconnect with other people, trying to build a positive change, trying to influence people to do better for themselves, social media is amazing.
Yeah. Use social media for the good of the world.
It's a tool. It shouldn't use you. Right? Well, all right.
That wraps things up. Thank you guys for joining us on our, what, we are now episode 11.
11.
So. Yeah, we're now episode 11, and it's been quite the journey so far. And again, thank you for tuning in constantly as much as you can, wherever you're at, whether it's on the road or at home. We appreciate your viewership, and if there's anything you want us to talk about, discuss, yeah, feel free to reach out in the comments below. We're also on social media. You can find us with the links below, and continue to stay connected with us as much as you can. And we hope to see you guys soon.
Just to add to that, we are on Spotify now.
Oh yes,
we are on Spotify, so
that
makes listening to us very convenient as you do your bucket list things. Or
yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again. Continue to stay connected, and yeah, continue gathering, growing together. And until next time, see you guys.